So tonight we will be discussing exercise and how it affects your mind. Exercise not only builds the condition of the body, but it builds the condition of the mind. It's never too late to start exercising. Huldah Crook. This is a story of a woman that went from walking widow to hiking Huldah. Huldah was one of 18 children born in Canada. She was raised in a Canadian farm, and her diet consisted mostly of meat, milks, cream, butter, eggs, candy, a lot of sweets, a lot of fattening foods. That was her main diet in Canada. But at the age of 16, she was carrying 160 pounds on her 5'2" frame. In her 20s, she became a dietitian, a vegetarian, and then she married a doctor. A better diet helped, but she worked long hours indoors without much exercise. Huldah's long hours of work without exercise affected her health in spite her improved diet. Although she had a good diet, a healthy diet, she was vegetarian, she needed a complete makeover. In time, tragedy struck. In 1950, at the age of 60, she lost her beloved husband, Sam. She started walking to relieve her depression. Daily exercise improved her health as well as her mood. At age 63, she began to exercise in earnest. From age 65 to 91, Huldah Crooks climbed 98 mountains, including Japan's Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji is more than 12,000 feet high. It's the tallest mountain in Japan. Now, I'm nowhere near age 65 and still far from age 90. I haven't climbed one mountain. So for her to climb Mount Fuji, she's far healthier than I am in my age. After age 63, she completed 23 Mount Whitney climbs. She backpacked 212 miles of the John Muir Trail. She climbed 86 Southern California peaks, and she held 8 world records for seniors over age 80. These are all achievements that she's made in her health over the age of 60, so it's never too late to exercise. Having climbed Mount Whitney 23 times, she became known as Grandma Whitney, and the mountain peak is now called Crooks Peak in her honor. She pretty much owns that mountain since she's climbed it so many times. During an interview, she was asked, "Are there days when you don't feel like exercising?" And she answered, "Yes, there are. But I just figure that the brain is on top and it should tell the rest of the body what to do, so I exercise anyway." And that's something we should tell ourselves. Our brain is on top and it should tell the rest of our body what to do. Remember, motion balances emotion. God has designed you for renewal, restoration, and recovery to build physical, emotional, and mental strength. The more fit you are, the more resilient your brain becomes, and the better it functions both cognitively and psychologically. If you get your body in shape, your mind will follow. Moderate, regular exercise improves mood, vigor, psychological well-being, creativity, and self-esteem in all age groups. Just 10 minutes of brisk walking can easily increase your mood for 1 hour. Start with taking 10-minute walks after a meal. Now, what happens after we walk 10 minutes after a meal? It also decreases our blood sugar. But if we already have the habit of walking 10 minutes, we can always increase that and walk 10 more minutes. More exercise is always beneficial to our health. Exercise and stress. A single bout can reduce tension, anger, and confusion. Regular exercise increases the ability to handle stress by lowering stress hormones. Exercising early in the day creates resilience to handle stress. Now, remember, I used to go to the gym earliest in the morning with my friends, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I found that when I would exercise earliest in the day, I was more alert. My mind was more sharp. Granted, I was tired after my exercise, but throughout the day I was not tired. I also had the habit of exercising in the evenings. I started going to a Pilates class twice a week in the evenings with some of my friends. And when I would exercise in the evenings, it would help me burn the stress that I had developed mentally and physically during the day. It also helped me stretch and relieve a lot of tensions that developed, during a heavy work and study week. And it helped relieve a lot of stress. It helped me rest easier in the night. So it's good to exercise either earliest in the day or at the end of your day. Exercise and the brain. Exercise improves mental processing, learning, and memory. Brisk exercise especially stimulates blood flow, neuron growth, and repair. Exercise stimulates production of new neurons in the hippocampus of your brain. We used to think that we're born with all the brain cells that we need, but in fact, that's not true. Your brain is always growing new brain cells the longer we live. So the more we exercise, the more we develop stronger brain cells, and exercise helps reduce the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. Also, exercise sharpens focus and the ability to filter out distractions. It improves planning, judgment, initiative, and creativity. The areas of the brain that's linked to creativity and planning also shares the same areas of the brain that is linked with exercise and movement. So when we exercise and we move, those parts of our brain are affected, and it helps us to be more stimulated and more creative during the day. What is the best form of exercise? The best overall form of exercise is walking. Most of us here walk. That's the easiest thing to do. Also, you want to find something you're willing to stick with. Make exercise a hobby, whether it's walking with a friend, going to play basketball, going to the gym with a group of friends. Make exercise a hobby so that you perform it every day. Also, you want to have a plan for every season. It's springtime here in Barron Springs, and the sun is shining, the weather is starting to warm up. Now we can go outside and have our 10-minute to 30-minute walks after our meals, correct? But during the winter, it's a little harder to exercise, to go outside and have those walks. So you want to be mindful of the season. During the winter, I like to go on the internet and look for an exercise program. There are 30-minute exercise programs you can find on the internet, on YouTube. I like to do those. You can walk on a treadmill indoors. And when you exercise during the winter, it keeps you warm. So you want to be mindful of the kind of exercises that you perform during different seasons. You want to work with healthcare providers or trainers to adapt to a plan that works for you. About 2,000 steps equals 1 mile. How many of you are familiar with a Fitbit or those exercise trackers? You can wear them on your wrist or even your smartphones. You can find apps that can help you count your steps every day. Now, 2,000 steps equals 1 mile. You can track your steps for a couple of days and gradually increase the amount of steps. You can add 500 steps a day. And once you reach 10,000 steps, that's equivalent to 5 miles. So it's reasonable to walk 5 miles every day to have a healthy exercise. Our final thought. God has given exercise to help avoid needless suffering and disease brought by inactivity. We are designed to move. God blessed man with exercise as an antidote to many mental, physical, and emotional diseases. And He will help you as long as you choose to get up and move. Now let's read this verse together. Blessed are those that keep my ways, for by me your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. Let's ask God today to make exercise a priority in our life.